What's up, everybody? We live in crazy times. I hope you're well. Oh my goodness. Catching up on all sorts of political stuff, and something happens in crypto markets every day. And then some people need to feel special, so they create drama inside the community, and some people are actually like right up there in my face. So they kind of affect me because I'm an emotional person. But everything's just fine. So what's been happening lately? Hex Postcards Group, hexpostcards.com is the main website for that. We've also got Telegram group that's Hex Postcards, so t.me/Hex Postcards. We have started a contest for the next round of designs. So we're going to do pulse chain designs. Pretty excited about that. We got something like 30 retweets and 50 something likes so far, off of a tweet that I did earlier today, I believe it was. Last night, during the night, I made a poster so that we could convey this information. So first place, it'll be $400. Second place, $200. Third place, $100. Last time we had probably a little bit less than 20 designs submitted, and I did something like 4 or 5 of them because I was flowing with all sorts of ways of communicating hex to people. But this one's going to be pulse chain. We're going to focus on pulse chain this time. Some of the guys in Twitter chat spaces asked me if we were going to do some Pulse X stuff. I've got some ideas for some marketing stuff for Pulse X, so I'll probably create that stuff before we even get around to another postcard competition. The reason why we have this competition is to raise awareness for our group, but also to get designers to work for us. we need the designers to help us out. I'm a designer, and I know that a lot of people look at crypto in different ways. And so we want those other eyes, not just people inside the group. Like I believe the first Hex postcard was created by both Togosh and Steed together inside the Telegram chat. And then, so that was the initial Hex postcard that we sent out to a lot of people. And then we ran a design competition. And I don't know if those designs actually went out to people, but they were on the website for people to select from. So I do know that some people have taken designs from the website and utilized them in their own way, because I actually had that happen to one of mine. I believe somebody made, instead of postcards, somebody made business cards with one of my postcard designs. It was a cool thing where like it was a silhouette of a female tending to her kids, and she was like, the business office woman, but dealing with home life. And it said something like the family banker across the top of it. So the message was clean. I thought it was cool. So some faults of mine is that some of these postcards, I only made one side. I didn't make the other side of it. I didn't envision what would be on the other side of it. But the guys who won the competition last time, they made both sides, and there was a number 1, 2, and 3 selected. I believe it was a voting. Yeah, it was a community vote that made it happen. I'm getting through my memory right now. That was an entire year ago. So the Pulse Chain contest is live, and that's what I've been paying attention to for the last 24 hours. Togosh and I had some friendly back and forth in direct messages. A lot of times, you see these guys all the time and you just don't talk to them. You just work with them. And so like we're not getting paid. We're making sure that our finances are all taken care of by ourselves. And so it's really good to rehash, what all is going on in everybody's life, and where they are with with everything going on in their life. You got to care about people, right? Um, uh, let's see. So as far as like the next meetup, I believe the Pulse tour is going around the nation right now. A Wild SJ, you could contact her and get the schedule of when these meetups are happening. The last one I heard about was in California, and then I think they went up to Portland. And so I'm not exactly sure where they're going next, but I know they're going to be in Texas at the end of the month. So I believe the date, excuse me, I believe the date is going to be the 26th of June, that they'll be down south of Houston in League City. This is RG3 and Wild SJ and company. They'll be talking about, I suppose, Hex and Pulse, and probably Texan as well. I think Rags to Riches, who is, I don't know if I know his actual name. Oh, Brandon. So Brandon and Matt, who is Crypto Heartbeat, he's north of me over here. Um, those guys are going to go down there to League City. I say down south of Houston. So hopefully some people that are in that area can go join them. I haven't decided what next meetup I'm going to be hosting. Like every time I talk to the boys on Twitter Spaces, they're like, "Hey, when are you going to host a meetup here in Georgetown?" And it's like, well, I really like it whenever we get eyes on the prize. So I'm hoping for more bridge meetups. I'm hoping that we can do a bridge in Round Rock, Texas, because that's right down the street from me, and I know this certain bridge. So like these bridges that I've had my eye on, I want to try them out. So that one I had my eye on. The one in Austin that we already tried out, I had my eye on. The one in Houston that we already tried out, I had my eye on. And so one of the guys down in San Antonio is getting me the exact bridge that he recommends down there. I believe it's crossing over I-35. And then I scoped out another one in Dallas. And actually, there were two places in Dallas, and one of them kind of seemed a little skittish, because it's like, okay, where are you going to park your car if you then travel out to that bridge? So like, would you park your car in the hood and then walk over to that bridge that's like a quarter of a mile away? I don't know. I don't know if we should do that sort of thing. So I've been working out earlier today. I went out to the lake, so I jogged down there. I swam a little bit. I meditated on the side of it and walked back up. Didn't jog back up. But the reason why I point that out is because this is kind of the attire that I recommend people wear whenever we do these bridge meetups. Wear hiking gear. Bring a light backpack, and bring a hat, and be ready to take on the sun. Bring some sort of like tennis shoes or something. Because it's summer, we're gonna get hot. Bring water in your backpack. Bring extra microphone, so that and bring your cell phone fully charged, so that we can get in Twitter Spaces and we can talk to people across the nation, in these other cities, and tell them what it is that we're doing, and they'll be able to hear through our microphone the people that are honking at us, right? They can't hear the people that are flicking us off, but we can tell them about that. We can tell them about the kisses that are blown to us from the ladies. We can tell them about the people who undo their skylight, their sunroof, and the kids pop through the sunroof and wave at us. So it's not a dangerous situation. Instead, this traffic, it moves very, very slow underneath us. That's the whole point. So if it is that you're interested in doing the same sort of thing, Hex on a bridge, um, if you're interested in this sort of thing, then on a Saturday, on like whatever day it is that you're planning on going out here and doing this sort of thing, the week before, find it stopped up on Google Traffic Maps. So go to Google Traffic and look for the red areas on the highways, right? And look for that area with the overpass, and preferably look for a place that you know pretty well, so that you're not caught off guard in any way. I don't want this to be an unsafe event, but I just think that this would be cool if people did this across the nation. Every time I've done this, Richard has given it a like. So we know that we're doing something that's satisfactory to the boss man, right? Um, so switching gears just a little bit, there's been a little bit of FUD in the news, FUD towards crypto in general. So Binance USA has got an issue going on of some sort that made it to where like the Binance coin was dropped. Like people were selling it to get their account free, like to get out of Binance US. And so they sold that coin because there's a Binance that's outside the US, and then there's a Binance US. And so they sold the coin on the Binance US. And so that plummeted quite a bit last night or the night before. And then another thing that happened was the SEC approved Coinbase for doing business and stuff. And that was months back. And now they're coming back and filing a lawsuit with them. So, and this was just today that we hear this news. So I don't exactly know what this means for all of us. I have a Binance. Wait, did I say Binance? I meant Coinbase. Okay, so the SEC allowed Coinbase to do their thing, and then they come back and file a lawsuit, and we hear about this today. The lawsuit was filed today. So Richard, I just read a tweet from him that said something like, this is pathetic. You shouldn't say that somebody's legal and then come back and tell them that they're not legal and file a suit against them. Instead, go back to the conversation table. So I have a Coinbase account, and Coinbase is my offboarding. It's my off ramp. It's the way that I get coins into cash to pay for my daily life. I don't like this news at all. It makes me think that I should pull a little bit more, sell a little bit of crypto, and liquidate my not liquidate, but lubricate my bank account for some maybe bad times coming. I don't know. So it's kind of a scary subject. I'm going to have to think about it, and it's always going to be on my head, on my brain for a while. What else is going on? If you guys aren't on Twitter, I think everybody needs to get on Twitter. I never have said that, but it seems as though the passing of ideas and the passing of information, it's a really important time to be on Twitter. And I don't want you to get tricked by any political moves here or there, but it seems as though there's a lot of stuff on Twitter, and people are able to talk real fast, and every day there's something new happening. And I'm talking about in crypto, and I'm talking about around the world as well. I don't speak as an expert around the world stuff, but I am here in my hometown, and I came back to my hometown 11 years ago in order to prepare for things that I'm seeing now. So to be frank, I worry and it scares me, all the stuff that's happening in the world right now, because there's even talk about punishing people who don't see the same way as a government does in climate science. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so I've sent out some mailers, quite a few mailers to people. I've learned quite a bit about the mail. And actually, right here is a mailer that's been returned to me. And this is the second one from that address. But yet, the first one that I sent to that address went. So this is number 3, because I was like getting new material to send out to people. And then I would just go down the list of people who I knew were outspoken Hexicans. So I'm very surprised that this came back. But what I wanted to brag about or tell you about is that I've been sending out a lot of mail to folks, and I'm staring over here at these magnets, the skull magnets and the Richard Hart Come Win With Us magnet that goes so well with a handwritten letter from a Hexican. Maybe it ends up on somebody's fridge, or these magnets that are just the Hex logo. They're pretty freaking sexy. I'm gonna go get one. So here's the Richard Hart Come Win With Us, and I think that goes so well with a handwritten letter. Might end up on somebody's fridge. And then these guys are the same size, business card size, but I recommend, cut it in half. I did that on purpose so that I could get the maximum amount for the print, because this design's square, right? And then look at this guy. These guys probably cost me $2 each, but they're well worth it. I love these guys. So these came from stickermule.com, and then these came from Philip Banks. So these were like 200 or 250 of these for $80 from Philip Banks. And so just contact him on Twitter or Telegram. And then these guys, I guess this dimension's about 5, and that's about 4 or a little bit less. So on Sticker Mule, you can get like 10 samples for a very inexpensive price. So maybe these cost me 10 for 20, or maybe it was 12 for 20, because they give you the cuts. They give you the sample cut, like the first one that they make, to make sure that it goes through well, that it's been printed well. They'll leave a little sticker, like the order number sticker, on the sample cut one, but usually you can preserve it. The only time I've actually had a problem with preserving the sample was whenever it was bumper stickers. They really fucked that one up. Get a sticker off of a sticker. It was annoying. I stretched it a little bit, but I hope that whenever somebody puts that on a surface, then they can make it look like it wasn't stretched. Okay, what else is going on? More Hexicans are getting Hexican license plates, so that's freaking awesome. So they'll be constantly asked, like, what is a Hexican? Are you being racist towards Mexicans? I don't know. Hexicans are the are the folks from Puerto Rico, maybe. I guess that's about it. I've finally figured out what I'm going to do in the space, and I'm not going to freaking tell you. I'm just going to do it because we're at that time. Like this world has gotten weird enough, so now I know what to do here. Like there isn't anything that's like beyond. You know, if you go down here to my downtown area, all these businesses are like not all of them, but there's quite a few businesses that are moving out of downtown because they can't afford the rent anymore because property prices are continuing to being hiked, and people like my parents have to pay this bullshit property tax that the price of the building goes up because they assess the value as more and more and more relative to the place next door every freaking year. So this place probably went up 60%. I don't even know how many millions this place is worth. And whenever my parents inherited it from my grandparents, it was not worth $1 million. And that was whenever I was in college. So I heard that number back then. So what I'm trying to say is that the city is making moves in this downtown area to preserve itself and to mold us subjects, and the property prices are skyrocketing. We've been the fastest growing county like 5 years out of the last 10 or something. Maybe even 8 out of the last 15. Williamson County. I'm in Georgetown, Texas. Williamson County, Texas. Everybody's coming here because they fucked up their homeland, and now they're coming here to bring their political views and try to fuck up our place. And so what I'm saying is that tons of businesses are moving on out of either that or they're shutting down. So there's a vacant spot. Basically, every block length, there's a vacant spot in the middle of it. And then the banks, right? The banks are moving around. They're consolidating in ways. So a place that was a Chase Bank is now a Vera Bank. Over there somewhere. The title place that used to be up here on the corner has moved out. They're going to go occupy a place that's much less rent, still staying within a few blocks. Basically, I don't know if I've told you guys this, but like, as the city continues to do this bullshit and we have to figure out how it is that we're going to run a business. What's up, Ten Top? Thanks for being here. He says, what's up, Hexkins? As we figure out, did I send you mail? Did you give me an address? I thought you did. Did you get that mail yet? Just wondering. As it is that the city is doing this sort of stuff, it seems as though they're forcing every business with nightlife and restaurants and like day activities or anything. They're forcing them all to serve alcohol. Like they're forcing them to be elusive in that way in order to make that percentage markup. And what does that do to your area? I don't know. He's catching up on 2-speed. Sweet. So over there in Twitter Spaces, we've been having this argument of p-hex, which is the hex now, versus e-hex, which is the old hex, or the original hex. And so, like, which one are you going to have? Tin Top says he got the mail. Sweet. commented on your vids. I arrived quick. So we're having this argument, or maybe we're not having this argument inside Twitter Spaces. Hex is the Way came out one day and said, he's over here in Texas. He said, what are you going to onboard your people to? Are you going to onboard your people to Pulse Chain? Like whenever you meet new onboards on the side of the street? Or are you going to have them, are you going to get them to go into Pulse Chain where the fees are cheap? Or are you going to get them to go into Ethereum where the fees are expensive? And they've sunk quite a bit though. But if you have any in stakes coming out, you will have witnessed that they're still pretty pricey in stakes. It's basically like what I experienced was with one of my onboards the other day was it was 10 times more expensive, or no, 100 times more expensive. So she was able to end a stake that was like a year stake. She was able to end it on Pulse Chain for 78 cents. And then she was able to end it on, or she didn't end it on Ethereum for $78. So that's 100 times, right? So Hex is the Way was making this, posing this scenario of like, where are you going to bring all your new money, all your onboards? But I immediately think to myself, like, whenever it is that people are used to blockchains, they're kind of slow to adopt new blockchains. So what if it is that there's an Ethereum person or a Bitcoin person who trusts Ethereum? They're all used to it. They're not yet sold on Richard Hart and his character, and his innovations and influence. Maybe they're not tied into the Hex community as much, so they might feel more comfortable with Ethereum. And hey, the Ethereum Hex has been going on for 3.5 years now. So shoot, once it comes up on 4 years and 4.5 years and 5 years, as opposed to only 1 year on Pulse Chain, which one? I don't know. Like, what if it is that Hex on Ethereum is cheaper than Pulse Chain, and so that might appeal to people. There's a lot of people who have some huge crypto bags who got into Ethereum early, and they're slow to move their value around. Rightfully so. Good for them. But as Hexalina Pulsalot pointed out the other day, if you were a Bitcoiner and you didn't take advantage of Ethereum, you could have bought more Bitcoin with your Ethereum. And the same thing with Pulse coming up. Like we're pretty damn sure that here in the future, if you don't change over some of this Bitcoin or some of this Ethereum into Pulse Chain, you're going to miss out on what more you could have had. You could have had more of that native coin that you started out with, if you wanted to spread your love around, and grow your bag all together, your net value. So I brought up that idea, and Hex is the Way continued to push for like 2 days. He really, really, really pushed it into Twitter Spaces. Like, Hex on Ethereum is old, it's outdated and everything. And guess what people were doing? And I think he was watching some OG's wallets too, with people unstaking. Unstaking. They were freaking in-staking, emergency in-staking, moving their value over to like over across the bridge and selling or liquidity pooling their eHex over on Pulse Chain. And I, like many other OG Hexicans who have many, many stakes over there on Ethereum, we are not going to emergency instake. And I think what Hex is the Way did was he did us all a favor by getting rid of weak hands. And that was the point that I wanted to get across, is that a lot of these weak hands have fumbled their eHex, and they've permanently moved over to Pulse Chain. If you weren't a believer of the Ethereum FUD with the expensive ending stakes and the pretty expensive trading fees and stuff. Over there on Pulse Chain, it's really inexpensive to do trades. It's really inexpensive to send from one wallet to the other, and it's pretty inexpensive to unstake as well. Now, how many pulse is it? It's a lot of pulse that it costs you to do these things. But how much is it in dollars? It's much less than $1. We're talking like 10 cents to, like I said, 78 cents for that dollar stake to in stake the other day. While I was talking about bridges, I wanted to talk about the bridge. So here and there, we've had like hangups on the clogging of the bridge, but no one's lost their funds, and everything has gotten fixed. And so sometimes people, it's been slower getting across that bridge than they wanted, but every time that I tried, which is only twice, 15 minutes. That's all it took. I was talking to Hex is the Way. He said about the same time it took me 15 minutes, it took him 20 minutes. Whenever it was that we had that initial clog in the very beginning, it took a long time for some people, and especially if you didn't prioritize it, if you didn't increase the fee. I believe that's what happened to some people. Some people that were trying to rush in new value and then make their value be a part of the liquidity pools. I think in the last live stream, I explained the difference between the V1 and the V2 Pulse Chain or Pulse X liquidity pools. So if you go to pulsex.com and then click on the app, it's like app.pulsex something, right? So don't quote me on that. Instead, just go to the website, pulsex.com. Open up that app and you'll see at the top, you can toggle between V1 and V2. Over on V1, you have the opportunity to earn INK token whenever it is that you cooperate with the liquidity pools. On V2, you do not earn INK token by participating in the liquidity pools. Instead, you earn fees on top of whatever it is that you are providing liquidity for. So if it is that you pair INK token with Pulse X token, then you would be earning a little bit of both, right? Over there on V2. But if you were on V1 and you're putting Pulse X and INK token together, you would be earning INK token only. And then if you went over and put also on V1, if you put Pulse and Pulse X together in a liquidity pool, then you would be earning INK token. So that's where you earn all your INK token on V1. If you're interested in INK. Now, what is INK? There's a lot of speculation about what INK is. Every once in a while, Hexalina Pulsalot tells us a little bit more about it. As I understand it, every year it experiences a halvening. As I understand it, initially there was a high inflation rate of like 6 INK per second coming out, and now it's subsided down to like 1 INK per second coming out. And if it is that you earn INK token, you'll recognize that the amount that's coming out, it really isn't that much. Your your account, like you're able to keep up with how much your wallet accumulates by one of the softwares that's available. You can plug in your wallet address and then see how much you're incurring, I think is what they call it. So it's like inkincur.com or something like that. You can find that info on either pulseburn.com or pulsex.com. So you'll see it just like dribble into your account. And so like what gives it its value right now, it's all speculation. But here in the future, it will probably have a purpose. And so a lot of us are thinking that it's going to be the type of governance token to where the people who own the ink are going to be able to say what liquidity pools are available to then earn, I guess, maybe more ink or earn fees. Richard has a plan behind all this stuff. And I know that people want Richard to get on a live stream so that they can ask him blunt questions in the chat and for him to respond to them until he's blue in the face, which he never gets. He gets red in the face. So like he would go for 4 hours, 6 hours or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's what people are like just salivating over, right? But for right now, this is what we know. These are the tokens. I think I talked about all of them. We've got P-Hex, we've got E-Hex, we've got Pulse, we've got PulseX, and we've got Ink. Speaking of ink, I've got a new hat from Chris Side Effects. Thank you so much for creating a design that's the ink token up here in the main portion of the hat. Chris Side Effects is over here in the town next to me, and he's got an online store. And you can find him on Twitter, as well as come into the Texas chat, t.me/Hex Texas. I guess that's it, guys. I'm going to go join the Austin area Bitcoiners. I had posted the link to a few chats and told people that I was going to go do a quick live stream before I go and join them. And the reason why I go there is to be the same face in the same calmness, talking about the news and updating people about Hexicans and Richard Heart, and show them that, hey, even though there's turmoil in this or that, Hexicans are unaffected. So I'll see you guys later. And thank you so much for your support. Cheers.